Okay, so today we're going to talk about life cycle of life cycle of Plasmodium. Life cycle of Plasmodium. Life cycle of Plasmodium. Alright. So it all starts when the infected female Anopheles mosquito, it bites a human. It all starts when the female Anopheles mosquito bites a human, and the infected Anopheles mosquito has sporozoites in its salivary gland. It has sporozoites in its salivary gland. The sporozoite is the most infective stage of Plasmodium. It is the most infective stage of Plasmodium. The sporozoid will be spilled into the human bloodstream. The infected female mosquito, when it bites a human, the sporozoids that are present in the salivary gland of female mosquito will be spilled into the human bloodstream. After that, the sporozoid will migrate. It will migrate from the bloodstream, into the liver cells. So the sporozoid will migrate from the bloodstream after the infection into the liver cells. And in the liver cell, when it goes into the liver cell, the sporozoid, when it goes into the liver cell, the cycle is known as erythrocytic cycle. And after that, in the liver cell, the sporozoid multiplies. It multiplies and form merozoites. In the liver cells, the sporozoid will multiply in number and forms merozoites. Okay, so it will form merozoid. Now the merozoid will shed into the bloodstream. Why? Because when the sporozoid multiplies, it's inside the liver cell. So when the sporozoid multiplies in number, it grows. And when it grows, it will slowly start killing the liver cell. And when it kills the liver cell will definitely rupture. It will rupture and it will let the merozoid shed into the bloodstream. And when it goes into the bloodstream after the rupturing of liver cell, when the merozoid will shed into the bloodstream. Okay, this is the first time the merozoid is shed into the bloodstream. Okay, so the sporozoid will form merozoid and it will grow in number. It will kill the liver cell, and when it kills the liver cell will rupture and the merozoid will shed into the bloodstream after the rupturing of liver cell. So the erythrocytes, also known as RBC, red blood cells, are infected by the merozoids that are present in the bloodstream. So the merozoids that are shed into the bloodstream will infect erythrocytes RBC, hence the erythrocytic cycle, right? Now, when it goes and infect the RBC, it is in the erythrocytic cycle. Okay, no, actually, when it's in the liver cell, it will be in erythrocytic cycle, but after it infect the infect the RBC, the merozoites will develop into tropozoites. Merozoites will develop into tropozoites. Okay, and that tropozoid looks like a ring. Looks like a ring. Okay, in which the nucleus and cytoplasm are visible. In tropozoid, if we look in from the light microscope, um, it looks like a ring. Why? Because the nucleus and the cytoplasms are visible. Hence, this cycle, the stage of Plasmodium is known as signet ring stage. So remember, signet's ring stage is when is the signet ring stage? It is in the erythrocytic cycle. Okay, so tropozoa is still in the RBC. Now, when it grows in number, when the tropozoid multiplies after the maturation, it will multiply. The tropozoid will definitely multiply and will form merozoids. Okay, so it will again be again form merozoid. Tropozoid will form merozoid, the parent. After the maturation, it will look like its parent. So it is known as merozoid. And that merozoid will form in number, numerous number, and hence it will cause the death of RBC, and the RBC will rupture, and the merozoids are spilled into the bloodstream again. Okay, this is the second time the merozoids are spilled into the bloodstream. This being the first time, this being the first time, and this being the second time. And when the RBC ruptures, the merozoids again for the second time goes and sheds into the bloodstream, and when it shed into the bloodstream, it will infect other RBC. It will infect other RBC. Okay, so two things can happen when it goes into the bloodstream. The merozoid, when it goes into the bloodstream, either it will infect RBC, erythrocytic cycle, and hence continue the erythrocytic cycle again. Okay, if it infects RBC again, it will again go to the erythrocytic cycle. But if it does not go to the RBC, go and infect the other RBC, if it does not go and infect the other RBC, it will stay in the bloodstream, and those merozoids will later differentiate into macrogametocytes and microgametocytes. So hence, what is formed? Gametocytes are formed. One being macro and the other being micro. And again, another mosquito will bite the infected human being. The human that has this whole cycle is infected. Okay, so another mosquito will bite the infected human being. It will bite the infected human being and will take in gametocytes. The mosquito which was not infected will become now infected Anopheles female mosquito when it takes in gametocytes by biting infected human being. After that, the mosquito will be infected Yeah, so the mosquito will be infected, and hence sexual cycle continues. You have to always remember that in human is the intermediate host. In human, sexual reproduction does not take place. Only a sexual reproduction takes place in human, which is the intermediate host. But in the definite host, that is the mosquito, female Anopheles mosquito, sexual reproduction takes place. Sexual and asexual both take place in mosquito. The mosquito will be infected, and hence the sexual cycle continues when gametocytes are ingested. When the gametocytes are ingested, the mosquito will become infected mosquito, and the sexual cycle continues. Now, in the gut of mosquito, in the stomach wall of mosquito, or in the digestive tract of mosquito, in the gut of mosquito, gametocyte develop into female gamete. Gametocytes, it develop into female gamete and male gamete. It develops into female gamete and male gamete. Female gamete is known as macrogamete. Macrogamete, female gamete, somewhat looks like this. Whereas a male gamete is known as microgamete. Microgamete. So, gametocytes develop into female gamete and male gamete. Female gamete is known as macrogamete, and male gamete is known as microgamete. After that, gametes will fuse to form a diploid zygote. So the macrogamete and microgamete, macro being female gamete and male gamete being microgamete, fuse to form ookinete. Ookinete is a zygote, and it is the only stage in the life cycle of Plasmodium where it becomes diploid. Okay, that is zygote. So ookinete is diploid. So when female gamete, macrogamete, and male gamete, microgamete fuse to form a zygote, it is diploid and is known as ookinete. And when the ookinete penetrates, and the ookinete, when it penetrates the midgut wall of mosquito, midgut, or you can just say gut wall of mosquito, it develops into oocyst. You have to remember that the sexual cycle continues in the gut wall or midgut wall or digestive tract or stomach wall of the mosquito. So basically in the gut of mosquito, the sexual cycle continues. Okay, so ookinete penetrates the gut wall of mosquito and develop into oocyst. Ookinete will develop into now oocyst. Oocyst. And oocyst undergoes meiosis now. So you can see that in mosquito, asexual as well as sexual reproduction both take place, right? So oocyst undergoes meiosis and forms sporozoid. And when that mosquito again bites another uninfected human being, it will transfer the sporozoids into the human bloodstream, and again the cycle continues. The cycle continues like this. Like this, okay? And this. Alright. So this is the life cycle of Plasmodium. Thank you.